Getting rejected sucks. What's going on? Good morning, good night, or good afternoon, or wherever you are at. And welcome back to the Notwandi channel. Rejection. That feeling of just... It's a feeling where I can describe where you've just been punched in the gut, and it's probably one of the more demoralizing feelings, especially when you get an outcome that you didn't expect, you didn't want, or you knew it was coming, and despite all the efforts that you put in, you get the outcome that you didn't want, and it sucks. I have been there, and I speak from my own experience from getting rejected by the girl that I liked in my class. Oof, that was awkward and embarrassing. From getting rejected job after job after job, and same thing with anything in life. Like, I asked this person, hey, can you do this for me? And it doesn't work out, and it sucks. It's such a frustrating and infuriating feeling that it just hurts you. At first, you're kind of at this disbelief that this happened. You get angry, and then you embrace it, that the result that you didn't want ultimately ended up happening. And I'm here to tell you that the longer you live on this life, and maybe I'm talking from the lens of a guy as a young man, right? To, I guess, some of my younger viewers, or anyone that's a bit younger that's watching this video, as I'm targeting this more to a male demographic, but this is applicable to both sexes, is that you will always, no matter how perfect or how flawless, people view you as, you will ultimately face, rejection. And it doesn't matter what you do, if you're asking out that girl you like, or if you're going for job interviews, you will experience it, and it sucks. I remember when I was trying to look for a job, I spent months, literally months. I've called up every office, every interviewer. I run around. I remember I literally, during my teenage years, because I wanted some spare cash, I would go in person to every single store in your local Westfield, handing out resumes, and I didn't get a single callback. That was just shit. It's a frustrating feeling when you feel like you give it your all, and life is just like, no. I know that feeling, that of just looking up at the sky and be like, what the hell? Why me? And that feeling where, I remember when I was going out with this girl, and I hadn't heard from her in a few days, and I got a notification, and I saw a whole, it's bad when you get a whole essay as a text message. I was like, and I already knew what it was, and let's just be friends. And then I was like, god damn it. But there's really two things you can do with rejection. The first being is complaining. I guess neglecting it and be like, you know what? I'm the most unluckiest guy out there. The game's rigged. People are out to get me. And you go on this kind of downward spiral where you are the victim. And this is such a dangerous mindset to have, because it's something that I had even when I was looking for jobs and failing interviews. It was such a frustrating feeling. Like, I made it this far in the screening process of a company, and what was the point, of me answering all those questionnaires or taking the courage to ask that girl, what's the damn point? But there's the other. You learn from your rejections, and you let it shape you to be a more resilient and better person. If I hadn't failed those interviews, I wouldn't have gotten a better job, or a job in the first place. As much as it sucked that I got rejected and saying that I wasn't successful, I look back now and I'm grateful that happened. Why? Because it forced me to be better. I practiced so many interview questions. By the time I walked into my next interview, it was a cakewalk. I knew how to answer every question with confidence and knowledge. If I hadn't been rejected through all those interviews that I did, I wouldn't have had the skills that I have now to just confidently walk in and smash out any interview I get. If I hadn't got rejected by all those girls that I asked out, I wouldn't have the courage to walk up and talk to people. I wouldn't. It's from rejections that sharpen your skills and guide you in the direction to who you want to become. So embrace it. Use that anger and frustration to be better, to progress. And ultimately, you gain a resilience where, you know what? I might have been rejected hundreds of times, but I won't ever give up. And it is that kind of strength that will ultimately help you get what you want, where you want to be, and who you want to become. So embrace rejection, my friend, because I know well now that this is something you don't want to hear, but you know it's true because I've been there. So hang in there, learn from it, and just embrace it. I just want you to sit down and just be like, okay, this sucks, but what can I do to improve? Because if you don't get rejected, you don't know what you're doing wrong. But anyways, I ranted on a little bit longer than what I normally do, but I hope that comforted you in, slightly. I'm just talking from my own personal experiences with rejection. But anyways, I will see you beautiful people in the next one.